got a strange email the other day asking if I wanted to check out a limited edition smartphone with supposed real silver and real gold-plated components inside, with a sapphire crystal back panel. At first I was like, but then I was like, yeah, this could be an Escobar phone level fiasco, or it just might be legit. And as somewhat of an expert on gold plating myself, I figured it was worth a more in-depth look. If it turns out to be real, I'll do a giveaway at the end of the video. Inside the first box, we have another box, the Red Magic 10 Pro Golden Saga. It's got some rather exquisite woven carbon fiber packaging. The first thing I noticed that's slightly amiss is this golden collector's card. Not quite in the spot where it's supposed to be. These limited edition smartphones are individually numbered, and I've got number 110. Before looking at what's probably the most premiumly decorated smartphone on the planet, let's see what else comes in the box. On the left, we have a package that contains a transparent ice cooler with a special gold accent. We'll be verifying that the gold is real here in a second. These ice coolers usually have a Peltier thermoelectric cooler inside, and in the same box is a carbon fiber accented 80-watt charging brick. The center module contains 2 braided USB-C cables, one for the phone I assume, and one for the thermoelectric cooler that we just put away. The last box has some documentation along with a real gold-plated SIM ejector pin. Absolutely wild. Now you might be like, hey Jerry, how are you going to tell the difference between real gold and fake gold? See, while you've been distracted with this deluxe unit of a smartphone with its gold-plated power button and sapphire crystal reflective back panel, not to mention the pirate-sized pile of gold coins and bars that I have scattered across my desk, you missed one very important detail. The most expensive thing on this table by far is actually the $25,000 XRF Precious Metals Analyzer, which is going to scientifically use X-ray fluorescence to identify individual elements. Basically, if I take this bar of gold and beam some X-rays at it, the elements inside the sample will get all excited and bounce those X-rays back. And the energy of those emitted X-rays tells us exactly what material or metal we are pointing the scanner at. It's like sonar for nerds, just with X-rays instead of sound. And as you can see, the bar of gold is real gold. AU on the periodic table stands for aurum, which means gold in Latin. Therefore, with science now on our side, we shall undoubtedly discover whether the Red Magic 10 Pro Golden Saga is using real gold, or if we have another fake Escobar-level ruse on our hands. Keep in mind that there is a difference between real gold and gold plating. Like with my JerryRig knives, I gold plated a small batch to help pay for the air compressor system at my wheelchair factory. If we fluoresce the blade with some X-rays, we can see that the X-ray analyzer can tell there's a layer of gold on top, but also detects the base layer material, in our case the alloy of stainless steel. X-rays can penetrate deeper than just the surface material. It's still real gold, just has a much thinner external layer. Another example, for my birthday last year, I got a few of these gold backs. It's a non-dollar currency here in the USA that's supposedly made of actual atomized 24-karat gold particles. Anyway, long story short, if we zap it with some X-ray beams, we can see that the majority of the bill is Le, light element, probably a polymer. But indeed, as we can see from the gold spike in the X-ray spectrometry graph, there is actual gold in the currency. So far, no one's telling any lies. Let's see if Red Magic is telling the truth, since most of the precious metals on this phone are internal, like gold plating on the vapor chamber and a silver alloy for that cooling fan air duct. The only way to know for sure is by getting inside the sapphire crystal back panel. These transparent sapphire crystals are grown in a lab, with the Mohs hardness level of 8 or 9, nearing that of diamonds, which are level 10. And so far, Red Magic appears to be off to an honest start, surpassing levels 6 and 7 where glass normally scratches at. The Golden Saga back panel gets scratched at a level 8 with deeper grooves at a level 9. Very impressive. Thumbs up for that. The ultra-flat triple camera setup is protected by that same premium sapphire crystal panel. Sapphire is rather fascinating, and it's a dream of mine to see the factory where these crystals are grown. So let Red Magic know in the comments that they should let us all come tour their factory. Where was I? Oh, look, lights. Instead of defaulting to an RGB turbofan, there's a nice golden glow emanating out the exhaust vent. Very nice touch here on the Golden Saga. Normally, when I take apart a smartphone, I use an extremely cautious, delicate touch, like one required of a surgeon or a young child holding their first butterfly. And I'd say 9.5 times out of 10, the phone usually survives. However, This time around, we see that one of the downsides of sapphire is that once something has broken that Mohs 8 level of hardness and scratched the surface, a crack might very well soon follow. And indeed, the combination of heat and suction cup has caused my level 8 scratch marks to turn into an actual crack through that back panel. Luckily, there aren't many level 8 objects out there in nature to come in contact with, unless you walk around with diamonds in your pocket, which, to be fair, this would be the phone that someone who walks around with diamonds in their pocket would want to purchase. But now you know, when you leave the house, diamonds and smartphones go in separate pockets. Where was I? Oh yeah, slicing away the crystal. Just like a normal glass panel, this crystal is adhered around the edges. The crystal has a subtle gradient around the sides, with the panel itself being totally clear in the center, to show off the woven carbon fiber detail over the battery. And of course, the literal real silver air duct channel next to the turbofan. Red Magic says it's not just the color of shiny silver, but actual silver. Kind of forgot the phone was still on, my bad. I would make a terrible surgeon. Where was I? Oh yes, the polished silver is incredibly reflective. When we get our X-ray beams out to fluoresce the elements, take a look at that. That massive spike in the center there is silver. The letters Ag represent silver on the periodic table. Again, something about the Latin word for silver being argentum. There are other metals mixed in, which is normal for a silver alloy. So far I'm impressed. We have real sapphire and real silver. Let's continue this investigation and see if we can find the real gold on the vapor chamber. Feels kind of like Indiana Jones up in here. I'll set the carbon fiber sheet off to the side, giving us better access to some of the screws, and of course the battery. With the screws gone, we can get a better look at that air duct. Not only is the top layer silver, but also the whole body and lower channel is a silver alloy, with a splash of gold plating on the underside of the cover. I can't think of a reason to plate the internal walls of the cooling duct with gold, since really the only people who will ever see it are the ones subscribed to my channel and watching this video. However, it could be to better reflect the yellow glow of the turbofan, like we saw earlier, so there's more golden light bouncing out of the vents. Either way, let's keep exploring. Just like we saw on the regular Red Magic 10 Pro, this Golden Saga edition has the same solid-state liquid metal. The indium and potassium alloy conductively channels heat from the vapor chamber into the turbofan's air duct, and it looks like there's some laser etching underneath, 99.9 GP, which I assume stands for 99.9% pure gold plating. The color is right for real gold, but it's gonna be real awkward here in a second if it turns out to be fake. The reason someone might want to gold plate a cooling system is because a few reasons. One, marketing. Premium stuff definitely sells more to the right audience. But also, gold plating does have useful applications beyond just aesthetics. Gold-plated HDMI or charging cable contacts actually perform slightly better than their non-gold-plated counterparts, since gold does not tarnish or have an oxide layer like copper or other metals. Gold is a noble metal, and don't get me wrong, a gold-plated HDMI doesn't always justify the exorbitant increase in price, but on an elemental level there is an improvement in performance. As we remove the 7,050 mAh battery, we catch a glimpse of the large gold-plated vapor chamber. Besides just being premium looking and non-oxidizing, gold plating can also enhance thermal efficiency. You might have seen the James Webb Space Telescope launch a few years ago. The giant mirrors are plated with a thin layer of gold to reflect infrared light and stay shiny forever. But lesser well known is that the cooling system of that same telescope out there in space right now is also gold plated just like the mirrors. And with our X-rays locked and loaded, the scanner finds that indeed real gold is present here inside the Golden Saga. Just like with my plated razor knife, the X-rays can penetrate through the top gold plating layer into the base, revealing nickel and iron elements, meaning that the vapor chamber itself is probably made of stainless steel. But the top, indeed, is real 24 karat gold. Just like ultra-premium scientific elements out in space. Where Escobar tried to fool the world with his gold stickers, Red Magic is the real deal. It's refreshing that even though the average person would never know if Red Magic was bluffing, since the vapor chamber isn't visible from the outside, but they went and did it right, just like they said they would. Nice work, Red Magic. A 99.9% real gold-plated vapor chamber is pretty cool, and I'm glad the phone 99.9% survived my teardown. I'll be joining Red Magic to give away 4 of these Red Magic 10 Pro smartphones with the link in the description. Head on down there if you want a chance to win one for yourself. It is a global giveaway. I do wish we could somehow get the vapor chamber to be visible from outside the back crystal panel, but that, my friends, is a video for another day. Thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.